Okay, so we have two things today, all right, for you guys. First one is adultery. Mason's gonna read.
Go ahead.
He's gonna go ahead and read it for us.
So Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 through 30. You have heard that it is said, "You shall not commit adultery." I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. It's better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to go into hell.
So Mason, what do you think is mean? So what do you think Jesus means by cut out, gouge out your eye and cut off your hand?
I think what Jesus means by that is that to get rid of what's triggering you to cause adultery.
Yes, sir.
But what I think he's trying to say is to get rid of the trigger that's causing you to cause that sin or to cause adultery, if you may. But that's all I gotta say.
Okay. So like, if you got any triggers that are making you do those things, like anything that's causing you to do it, you gotta get rid of that thing, so you quit committing adultery, maybe it's the way you look at somebody. Say you're a man, right? Like us, you gotta train yourself to not look at that woman, like lustfully, looking at everything by her face. You gotta train yourself to look at her face. And same for a woman, you gotta, instead of looking at a man at his parts, you gotta look at his face. It's the same way for a man and woman. You gotta both look at each other's faces. You gotta train each other. You gotta train yourself to do that. So it's kind of a big thing. It's also, adultery can lead to lust, and that's what happens majority of the times. So when you look at a woman adulterously, it's basically you being lustful towards that woman, or a man, so you gotta train yourself to look at that man's face or a woman's face, It's not always easy, but it's something you can train yourself to do, Now for these end times, if you have a Bible, I don't think I already said this, but if you have a Bible, maybe Bible app, you can download the Bible app or the App Store or whatever you use to download stuff, and you can get on there, and we're reading out the NIV, but whatever you read it out of, it's honestly fine, as long as you're reading out some sort of Bible, so you just grab your Bible, go to the Bible app, while this video's going, and
try and follow along.
Yeah, try to follow along with us. So I know I had Mason only read the middle part, but I'm gonna read all of Matthew 24. Because adultery is only that little part, but it was the whole thing. But if you want to, I can read the destruction of the signs of the temple, and then you can read, once I'm done with that, the day and the hour and noon. If that's fine?
Yeah.
Alright. So Matthew 24:2 is when Jesus starts talking about this. He says, "Do you see all these things?" he asked. "Truly I tell you, not one stone will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down." As Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately. "Tell us," they said, "when will this happen? And what are the signs of your coming and the end of the age?" Jesus answered, "Watch out that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. But see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. prophets, and you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray one another, will betray and hate each other, and many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. Because of the increased wickedness, the love of most will grow cold, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come. So when you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let no one on the housetop go down to take anything out of the house. Let no one in the field go back to get their cloak. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. Pray that your flight will not take place in the winter or on the Sabbath, for then there will be great distress, unqualled from the beginning of the world until now, and never be equaled again. If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive. This is about no one would survive, but for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. At that time, if anyone says to you, "Look, here is the Messiah," or "There he is," do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you ahead of time. So if anyone tells you, "There he is," and is out in the wilderness, do not go out, or "Here he is in the inner rooms," do not believe it. For as lightning that comes from the east is visible even in the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever there is a carcass, there will be vultures will gather. Immediately after the distress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and all the peoples of the earth will mourn. They will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, and he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender, leaves come out, and its leaves come out, and you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see all these things, you know that it is near, right at the door. Truly I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. So before we get to that, Jesus, in this part, these are just all these signs, right, that Jesus is giving us, right? So, we're seeing all these things pretty much happen. There's more than just these, I'm sure there's a bunch in the Old Testament, there's a bunch in the New Testament, and a lot of the things that are said to happen in the end times are they're literally happening in front of us. We ain't even paying attention to it, man. We all got to be aware of this, man. We got to be ready, So signs that we're being given now, we got to pay attention to. So
we have to open our eyes.
Yeah. Okay. You can read.
The day and hour unknown. Matthew 24 verses 36 through all the way to chapter 25. But about the day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. As it was in the days of Noah, so it will be the coming of Son of Man. For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day Noah entered the ark. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came, took them all away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 men will be in the field, one will be taken and the other left. 2 women will be grinding with the handmill, one will be taken and the other left. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come. But understand this, if the owner of the house had known at what time of night the thief was coming, he would have kept watch and would not have let his house be broken into. So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour you do not expect him. Who then is the faithful and wise servant whom the master has put in charge of the servants in the household to give them their food at the proper time? It will be good for the servant whose master finds him doing so when he returns. Truly I tell you, he will put him in charge of all his possessions. Suppose the servant is wicked and says to himself, my master is staying away a long time. And he then begins to beat his fellow servants, and then to eat and drink with drunkards. The master of the servant will come in on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites, where there be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Alright, so the end times, right? So like we got the signs, right? And now Jesus is talking about nobody knows the day or the hour he's coming back, not even he himself, or the angel, only God. You know how cool it'd be to know that though? Like,
Dude,
that'd be insane, you know? Just
the
to know.
fact that if you were to know the amount of preparation you have to do.
The amount of people that'd be ready. Like, dude, if you don't know when something's coming, you should always be ready, because it could happen 5 minutes from now, 5 hours, 5 days, man, 5 weeks. Like
5 years.
Yeah, people are gonna be getting ready, like for something that's gonna come, right? That everybody's gonna be getting prepared for it, right? But Jesus says you don't know the day or the hour, and pretty much what's being said is he could come back anytime. It's like, why not? And it's like, I'm speaking for myself, you know. I'm sure sometimes I'm speaking for you, you know. We gotta be ready, you know. We gotta be prepared to do. We gotta just do what we need, you know. Because the best thing to do and have is a relationship with Jesus, you know. So like if we don't know the day or the hour, you know, if you don't know something, if you know he's coming back soon, you know, he can come back anytime, you know, shouldn't you be ready, you know? Shouldn't we be ready for him to come back, you know? And it's kind of a hard thing when Satan tries to distract us with all these things, you know. We always got to be prepared for what they come next, you know, because, you know, you could send a distraction, you know. He tries to distract us, you know. It's a big thing. He tries to make us doubt. And he tries to make us doubt because we haven't seen the thing. But, you know, faith is, if you go to Hebrews 11:1, it says, now faith is confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see. So, pretty much, faith is just things not seen, you know, having belief in something you don't see, you know. Like, say, I can't really say this for myself or you know, because we're not in college, but say you're in college, you know, and you have faith, you know, that you're going to get a degree, you know. So it's kind of the same way as Jesus, you know, you don't see it, but you have faith that it happened and it's going to happen, you know. So like, those are just 2 things, you know. Probably make a video later, you know. Just two things, you know. One's something, you know, pretty big, you know. I used to do a lot, and I'm sure you did too, you know. I know you probably don't. It's not fun to be called out or call yourself out, you know. But like, I've committed it. We've all, I'm sure, committed it. But it's just something you gotta train your eyes to look away from, you know. Pray about it, you know. And the end times, you know, you always gotta be prepared for what may come next, because you don't know when Jesus is coming back. So you just gotta be ready and on guard, you know. You gotta stand ready until he comes back. So it's just the 2 things, you know.